AFLX started last night in Adelaide with plenty of energy, super goals, and gave us all a glimpse of some of the young stars that are a chance to play in 2018. Adelaide took the first title, and tonight at Etihad Stadium, 6 Victorian teams get a chance to showcase their skills in AFLX. Good evening, everyone. Etihad Stadium is set to go, and the man next to me is set to go as well. Our newest recruit at Fox Footy, St Kilda legend Nick Riewoldt. Welcome to the family of Fox Footy, Nick.
Thanks,
you excited
mate.
about this?
Yeah, I am, absolutely. I think with any new concept, there's always an element of the unknown, and that certainly adds to the intrigue. But we got a glimpse of it last night. It's great to be here again tonight. 6 new teams get an opportunity to come out and show their wares.
And within those teams, there's some players that will absolutely excel at this game. We think Christian Petrarca, we can see there, he'll dominate. The little kids, they'll dominate behind the goals. You think in the beanbags, Jack Silvani will go well also.
Yeah, they'll love it, the kids. Footy's back. It's not traditional footy in the sense that we all know it, but the fundamentals of the game are still the same in that it's exciting, it's engaging, there's plenty happening for the crowd to get involved, so looking forward to it.
They'll enjoy the music as well. The AFLX, the way that it's set up in terms of Pool A and Pool B, and the winner of Pool A or Pool B will go into the grand final. There's 6 teams tonight, as we can see. Carlton taking on Melbourne, they're a Pool A side. Hawthorn then the second game against Essendon.
North Melbourne, Carlton to follow, and then Essendon v St Kilda, which is going to be a little bit strange for me, John. It feels a little bit strange. The Saints boys are off to the side here, so I'm not sure whether to go over and hug them or just keep my distance. It's a little bit different, but following that, we'll have Melbourne, North Melbourne, and then St Kilda, Hawthorn. Obviously, the 2 highest ranked teams will then play off in the granny. Yeah, definitely. What we learned from last night, I think, in terms of what we saw, one, the atmosphere was brilliant at Hindmarsh Stadium. I thought it was very good, but it's the speedsters in the game. It's lethal in this game. You look here, Bradley Hill, what he's able to do in break the lines and continue with that speed endurance we all know him for. Walters was very good for Fremantle. If they can get this in the home and away season, they'll be pretty happy. Yeah, your good players are still your good players in AFLX. Yeah. That definitely translates and carries over. The ability to run and run and run, but run at high pace is really important. Petrelli there, he was fantastic for West Coast. They'll love him from some new names. Willie Rioli, he enjoyed a bit of a celebration. Not too much time for celebrating, but he managed to dab. No, there's not a lot of time, and that may be one thing we push the AFL to try and bring in so we can see a little bit more of the celebration, but no stoppages as well, which is great for the game, and the players can just go out and play. But the contested marking for me, Jono, as a key forward, the ruckman, the key forwards, they don't necessarily have a big role to play, but a few more contested marks tonight, take the contest on. I think that's something that we'd like to see added to the exciting stuff that we saw last night. I think the players will love that. They definitely love the freedom, Roo, because speaking to a couple last night, the fact they didn't have to set up stoppage structures or go into zones on defence, they could go out and play. They were doing barrels on the run. That's how excited they were. It'd be great to see a few more of those tonight. Yeah, it certainly will. Time for a quick break here from Etihad Stadium. Last night, the Adelaide Crows, they took out the first title in AFLX. They did it in style against the Cats on their own turf at Hindmarsh Stadium. Perfect conditions here at Etihad Stadium. As you can see, the roof is open. The players are out on the ground and set to go. It's going to be a great night here. Seats are in as well, making things really tight around the playing arena. So it's going to be a fantastic night. Nick, for me, for what I'm looking forward to, I'm looking at the Essendon Footy Club and their speedsters. We know how good they are. McDonald, Tip and Woody, what he can do. Connor McKenna and his run and speed. Hopefully we get some running bounces out of him. But their biggest recruit, one of their biggest recruits over the summer, they got a couple of the Bombers, but if Adam Sard can get his game going, this really does suit him. Yeah, he has the capacity to be the biggest of those 3 out of Stringer, him and Devon Smith. For me, it's the kids. I think AFLX provides a great platform to be able to play your young players, and in particular 4 top 10 draft picks on display tonight. 2 at the Blues in Paddy Dow and Lockie O'Brien, and the Saints have 2 as well, Hunter Clark and Nick Caulfield. So the opportunity for those guys to be able to come out and show their wares tonight, get the fans excited, they are the future, is one of the great things that AFLX provides. You mentioned Paddy Dow and Lockie O'Brien. They will represent in Game 1 for the Blues. If we have a look at their lineup, Marchbank will be the skipper of this side. Jack Silvani will be in there as well, floating around the forward line. Look forward to seeing whether he can get in and kick some big goals. And Pickett, front square specialist, mightn't need that so much tonight. He'll have to break the lines with his run, but an exciting lineup there. He will, and Lockie O'Brien, a 2 kilometre time trial beast. Yep. Speaking to some of the Carlton assistant coaches before the game, so you'd imagine this format would suit him well.
What about the Ds? What do you like there?
Well, I think they've got an established lineup in Tip and Woody, the guys you mentioned. They're the ones that I think are really going to be able to, for the Bombers, but for the Ds, it's going to be Petrarca for me. He's a powerful athlete. He's the sort of guy that will suit this format really well. And Tommy Bugg, he hasn't played in a long time. We know his season ended controversially last year. He said last night that the players early on were very friendly, sociable. I'm not sure that's going to be the case with Tommy Bugg. It doesn't suit him. Those competitive juices will get flowing, and he'll relish the opportunity to be back out there with his teammates. Look forward to seeing him out there.
Yeah, Tommy McDonald, he's skipper tonight in the Melbourne jumpers there, looking pretty good. The old school sort of blue that they've got going on tonight, the D. So that looks pretty cool. But Petrarca, he will dominate also. Tactically, though, do you think we'll see it? Last night there was a bit of man-on-man. Geelong zoned a little bit. Do you think the sides tonight will learn anything from that?
I don't think so. I think how teams defend generally is the way they're going to try and defend in this game and really hone their craft. So some teams go with more a one-on-one format. Other teams zone and protect space. We saw Geelong do that very well. But the rules are set up pretty well for the teams to be able to just go up and play.
They are. You can see there's 7 players per team, 3 on interchange bench, played on a rectangular field, 2 by 10-minute halves. 10 points for the super goal.
We love the super goals. Let's see a few of those tonight. Free kicks for the last touch and kick-ins after all scores. But
what you got that for? What are you doing?
Jono, got to compliment the AFL.
Okay.
It's one thing to implement something, but if it doesn't work, get rid of it. So the silver footy's out. We've got the traditional yellow footy back in vogue tonight, so the players can actually see it and kick it properly.
You haven't looked to touch either, really? That was very clean.
It's nice to touch a footy. It's been a while. I haven't touched one since August.
No, you handled it well, and the players will handle this extremely well also. You can see there, getting around each other before the start of this game. There's Tommy Bugg. What will he do? Will he tag tonight, or will he get a free run in this AFLX competition?
Let him play, Jono.
Let him play, and here they go. We're set. The first ball up.
Free kick in the middle of the ground for a push in the back. Going Carlton's way. Kennedy kicks it long inside. The 40, Silvani, Melbourne getting back. And we're going to see our first score of the night, which is a behind. And we're underway. It's fast-paced football. Tom Bugg getting involved nice and early. That's a throw. And the umpire spotted it. It's going to be a free kick. Again, going Carlton's way. And Kennedy getting very busy early. Going for a Zupa goal. It gets smothered. McCready goes inside. Forward 40. And Silvani, Jack Silvani, coming off a shoulder reconstruction last year, but he's fit. That left shoulder strapped. Puts it to the top of the square and smashed through by McDonald. 2 rush behinds early for Carlton, and Wagner takes the kick-ins, wastes no time, looking to play on quickly. McDonald to Bugg, getting plenty of touches early. Jakey Melksham, he's just slowing it down a little bit. Goes inside the 40, he's going to miss the target there. Harms couldn't quite get it. And we're going to get a free kick to Carlton's way. Young man Paddy Dow wearing the Carlton jumper for the very, very first time. It's exciting. These young fellas don't care where they play or in what competition. They're just rapt to be out there playing. Silvani, it gets cut off, and they're looking to switch the ball into the middle of the ground. Wagner to Melksham, just couldn't find the footy. Or good, strong contest. Jakey Melksham will get the free kick. Melksham takes off on the left boot, just scrubs it inside the forward 50. McDonald did some good things up forward late in the year for Melbourne, and that's holding the football. It's going to be going Carlton's way, and the boys are back in the commentary box.
Oh, thank you very much for that.
What about that?
We've had some internal lift issues. It got locked off on us and we were stuck there for a while, but we're back as this game's underway. Carlton with some early scoreboard pressure, not much. And this ball's stuck forward, but broken up in the air by Maynard. Melbourne can regroup off halfback.
They can indeed, JB. Players converging. Eventually Wagner got a piece of it for the D's. Stretch in there. Did well to extract. Brayshaw, quick little hands. Neil Bullen, last touch out of bounds. So this will be a Blues free here.
It will. Brought in by Williamson. Saw plenty of him last year. Very talented left footer. Long ball inside 50, kicks to a one-on-one. No mark taken. Lots of numbers back here for Melbourne. And just a hack out of there. He's going to come bouncing back in with interest through Williamson. He can have a crack at a big 10-pointer.
Yep.
Look at the left foot weapon.
Absolutely beautifully done by Tommy Williamson there. Pick 61 in the 16 draft, so quickly back into play. Doesn't go back to the middle. Those are joining us for the first time. Simply a kick in from fullback. Must be behind the line, though, when you do kick it in. Now, Melbourne to go forward here. Flying from Petrarca. Couldn't handle it off hands. Brayshaw just inside the 50 and a minor score.
Andrew McKay, former staff for the Blues and now part of their footy department. In fact, heading it up. Macca, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem, James. How are you?
Well, other than the fact that Brian and I got locked in an internal lift, have basically done laps of Etihad ever since. We're going well.
You're out of breath.
Tell us, what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far? Not only today, but last night.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting concept. Obviously, ball movement just up and back and up and back. And I think, you know, as the games go on, the boys get worn out a bit. But not many stoppages, which I think is a fair bit different to our game, and obviously a different size field and different number of players. But gee, the ball keeps moving, so it's it will be exciting to watch for the fans.
Did you pick up anything out of last night that you said to your team that we need to be careful of that, or?
Not really. It was funny watching last night because different teams had different approaches, and none of them really shone as the right approach. So yeah, we're going to try some things that we'll try and the home and away series and see how we go. Well, that's completely different setups, really, so it's going to be a bit difficult.
Interesting, Brayshaw there knew he had to get it there on the full, JB, because of a 10-point attempt from beyond the 40-metre arc. Has to go through on the full.
Can't bounce through. Intercept mark. Petrarca had a quick look sideways, but James Harms in a new jumper, and now he has a ping himself, and that is going to hit the post halfway up. Tell us, Andrew McKay, about some of the real silk that's rolling out for Carlton tonight. Paddy Dow, I see out there. I know enormous amounts expected from him.
Yeah, he hasn't got on yet, but certainly Paddy, early draft pick for us at the end of last year. Missed a fair bit of last year with a shoulder, so he's had a little bit of a slow pre-season, but certainly the last couple of months he's been fantastic.
Lockie O'Brien playing in this game as well for you guys. Macca, tell us a little about him.
Yeah, Lockie can run. You need two really good attributes in modern-day football, to be able to run and to be able to kick, and Lockie can do both of those. So he came second in our 2K time trial the other day, so he can certainly run, and hopefully he'll put his kicking skills on display tonight.
Marchbank the kick in. That's a bit messy. Petrarca able to go and get it. Quick feeding handball to Harms. Over the top, stretch. Tommy Bug now, a little sideways one to Melcham's kicked a very nice goal a moment ago. Long way out, runs a bit of an arc and then comes back, and now we can have a ping at the 10-pointer. And that is very nice from the former Bomber.
Zupa, a Zupa goal there, and it was really well done. So let's see what the Blues can muster up here. Here's Kennedy. See Silvani wide. Petrarca contacts him, but good use of the body from Silvani. Little one around the corner, looking for it, not finding Lamb. So last touch over the line would be a Melbourne ball. They're quick to get it back into play, and here they go. They're on. Brayshaw had a little fumble, still trying to recover it here. And now Bug sees it over the line, so I think it'll be a Carlton. No, it'll be a Melbourne ball.
Nice touch, Carlton, but there's a nice intercept mark from Silvani. Not a lot ahead of him, just flips a handball over the top. Cameron Paulson. Beautiful penetrating ball to Jed Lamb, who should go back and kick.
Very often, JB and Macca, they look from outside 50. There's no one inside 50, so they have to go sideways if they can't get the distance with a kick. I reckon it'd be great in this game to have someone fixed as a fixed player inside the 40.
It was interesting then, Jed got into some space there, and he probably had space to play on, and he decided to hold the ball up and actually take a set shot, which probably indicates the boys are starting to get run off their feet already.
18-23s. Neil Bullen takes the kick in. This is a dangerous ball through the middle. It works. Wagner able to take that mark and then sticks it wide. Harms. He'll have a go from long range, and that's beautiful. Just going to miss to the right-hand side. In fact, it may have been taken in the field of play. I think it was by Harrison McCready. What about him?
Yeah, he's obviously his second year this year. Played half a dozen games last year. Spent some time GWS or in Sydney playing knee-full for GWS the year before. So he came on. He probably surprised us a bit last year on the number of games he played and the quality he played.
the talk from last night, Andrew, was just have a look at Pickett here doing his best work, almost was able to knock it on. Silvani will finish with a 6-pointer. But the players are in love with the game from last night. Did you have any trouble? Did you have to hold people back from this game? Were the players putting up their hands, or were they uncertain?
The thing with this time of year is they've been training for so long, so they just want to play games of footy. And the guys that didn't play or aren't playing tonight, obviously trained this morning. So, yeah, we had a lot of guys that were lining up to have a game. They just want to get going. But
Melcham again with a 10-pointer, so he's a bit of a specialist from long range. There's another super. Melbourne back in front.
Well, we're keen to show, the fans a few of our young guys. The Dows and Kennedy's new for us, and obviously a few second-yearers. So we want to put them on show and give them another taste of Etihad before the season starts.
I think it's great being able to show you young players in this sort of environment. Here's an opportunity again for O'Brien and Carlton. So 3 goals at each end at the moment, scoring easily both sides.
There's big Maxi Gawn. He's going to be up in the commentary box with us a little later on. Looking forward to that. Interestingly enough, Macca, the ruckman not getting as good a look at this game as some of the other sized players.
No, the tip-off might have killed the ruckman in this style.
Big Tommy McDonald, and he can go back and have a look from what'll end up being about 45.
But it's amazing how few stoppages there are in the game, isn't it?
I think there was one last night in the grand final, one stoppage.
So McDonald safe. 45 looks nice off the boot. So there are plenty of 10-pointers in this game of footy.
Zupa's flying around everywhere, JB. Just a half minute to go in this half.
Yeah, we were just saying, Macca, in the intro, we caught up with the Collingwood boys and coaching staff from Geelong at the airport, and overwhelmingly the players all had a ball. They absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's nice to actually just try something different. And you know what? It's fast and it's not too rugged on their bodies, I don't think. So it's probably a good lead into JLT and then the home and away.
I'm not sure, Joe, but I don't think there was an injury as that one was kicked on the side. I think that will be allowed, that goal.
And it's a Zupa too.
And it's a Zupa as well, so a neat 10 points right on the siren. Andrew McKay is with us here. We'll chat with him on the other side of the break as well. It's half-time in game number 1 here, AFLX at Etihad.
Melbourne lead this game at halftime 53-30, and it is because of Jake Melcham. 3 super goals in the first half, 5 in total for Melbourne. How good's that, Nick?
High scoring, Jono, value of the super goal, but it seemed like more of a traditional game of footy, particularly early, kicking to a lot more contests, a lot more collisions on the ground, and highest scoring game we've seen so far in AFLX.
Yeah, it's been good, hasn't it? The pressure around the ball, though, you can see here, they're getting plenty of numbers around it, and the guys are finding it difficult at times to actually exit. It's a lot more physical, but that's traditionally the way Melbourne have played the last couple of years, even Carlton with their contested brand of football. So this is ideal for their preparation.
It generally shows that they're probably defending that they want to defend, and we'll see if it continues in this second half. We saw Carlton get out the back on a few occasions and kick the old Joe the Goose in the goal square, but as we start this second half, you'd expect Melbourne to continue to put the clamps on the young Carlton players and put the scores on the board. A few more super goals coming our way.
I think so. They'll need to put some work into Jake Melcham. He'll be the leading goal scorer after this game. But here we go.
Well, Petrarca in his normal basketball fashion.
He thinks he's a basketball.
Oh, he fancies himself.
Yep.
He really does think he's LeBron James.
Yep.
Someone's got to tell him at some stage. Here's Williamson. Free kick.
Well, Brian, someone's got to tell him that just being mates with Ben Simmons isn't enough. As this ball's long forward, Wagner to fished from behind. As let's get down to Campbell Brown. Who you got, Brownie?
Yeah, I've got Jack Silvani here. But what would Serge, your grandfather, think of a concept like this?
He'd say it's very different to old times, but concept's the same. Leather footy, kick it through the big sticks, you win.
Exactly right, that's spot on. And you're the new face of football, the new face of AFLX. Is it something that you'll embrace going into the future and see where it takes?
Yeah, I think you have to. It's a really good marketing tool for the AFL, and it's easy to spread internationally with this field size. So I think it's really smart in that way, but good for us to get out, play against some opposition rather than your teammates.
BT, you got a question?
For you, I have, Brownie. What do you think of the game so far?
I don't mind it. Yeah, I think it's good. I think that the Australians that know football really well probably don't embrace it as much, but it's not about them. It's about an international audience and potentially finding new product out there.
Cameron Polson with that goal there for the Blues. And at the Sandringham under-18s via Hailbury, St Peters. Pick 59 in the 16 draft. So Melbourne do Melksham here. Very significant in the first half. Jakey Melksham just places Petrarca where he wants him to go, very close to the boundary line, keeps it alive. Zuper on offer, as casually as you like from 40, and almost the fadeaway 40 kick from Petrarca basketball style.
He's got huge upside, Christian Petrarca. Melbourne fans everywhere hoping that the best of him is going to be the best of them. Short ball in.
Might seem a big margin at the moment, JB, 36-63, but it's not.
No.
10 pointers available.
No, and especially with turnovers like that, middle of the ground. Carlton just with Marchbank here waiting for someone to present. The man who just spoke to Campbell Brown, Jack Silvani, gets on his bike, and then Angus Brayshaw just gets in his face, ball bouncing, and Brayshaw allows it to go through. And did he disguise it well enough? Yes, only just.
Because they are not as lenient in this AFLX as they are in the normal games of footy with the deliberate rush behind. So lucky. We saw 111-point play last night as a result of that free buck. Petrarca, long ball, McDonald on the run. Now if it bounces through, it won't be a Zuper. It's just a Niner score anyway. What are the players physically out of this game in terms of miles in the leg, Andrew? What are you expecting to get into them?
Yeah, it's interesting. The trial games that they've had in previous years, they had a couple through the VFL last year. They're only really getting about 3 or 4 Ks in. Because the halves are only 10 minutes long, they've got as many rotations as you like, so they're not getting huge Ks, but it's high speed running that they're getting in.
Paddy Dow just getting out the back nicely there, former Geelong grammarian, and taking pick 3 in the recent draft. The top 5 or 6 in that draft, real good. So Paddy Dow is going to be a beauty. Long ball forward, it'll get out the back. Melcham's already kicked 3 Zuper goals. That ain't going to be a 4th. Didn't connect with that at all out the full.
Wonder whether we could continue that arc, Andrew, all the way to the baseline, and you could have a Zuper from a very acute angle, couldn't you?
Yeah, it would be a bit more of a challenging kick from that angle, that's for sure.
Jeez, look at those mitts. He's got a bit about him, this boy, Bristol.
Yeah, Paddy Dow, you've spoken of him. Swan Hill boy. McCready. Now the Blues going to find a little bit of footy here. Back inside, 2-on-1. It'll be Harms applying the pressure, kept it alive here. Pickett, little handball over the top, free kick off the ball behind the play, and it will go the Blues' way to Pickett. He gives it off, and Zuper on offer here, and that's Lamb, and strokes it magnificently. So there's a nice 10-pointer for the Blues.
And that's what you're talking about. These big margins can be eroded away quickly. Long ball forward. Here is Melksham, and that's nicely done. He sticks it back into the path of Big Tommy McDonald, who takes the mark, even though Pickett closed him down. No, not paid. McDonald boxes on, handball back. Unable to find Harms, and now the cavalry arrive for the Blues. Nice tackle placed on Williamson, though. And Harms will get a free kick and a shot at goal. Interesting looking at Tommy McDonald there. Look at the wheels. Just going with a real boring black boot. And we've already had tweets in from J. Kennedy Harris saying, someone tell Big Tommy, take his school shoes off.
And the Barton Scouts.
Very rare item, a black footy boot, Macca, these days.
I think they're coming back in slowly, JB.
Yeah, they may well be. Here's Harms. And he makes sure of a 6-pointer. Still plenty of time, 5 minutes.
Old private school boy from Adelaide, Macca, you wouldn't have worn white boots or orange or pink or anything.
Not at all. I'm too old for that too, JB.
See, they used to wear yellow at one stage, but you're right, Andrew. They are the black and with the white stripe coming back into vogue these days.
Carlton, outside the line. Outside the line.
Preedy, I think it is. Or no, it's Lamb. So good crowd in. Lower deck full. Middle deck getting to full. So very, very happy with the crowds that have attended. Here's Brayshaw. We had 2 Brayshaws playing last night, one for Freo, one for West Coast. We've got the 3rd of them, all brothers.
That's it. And this one, I think, Bristol just a little stung by the attention his brothers are getting.
Yes.
He's not happy about it. There's a turnover, and this is Paddy Dow. He's got forward Silvani. He'd broken into space. He's taken it just inside. Expect a runner to come past.
And this is what they're getting better at looking for, the Zuper opportunity.
It's a pretty scrubby kick, but it's going to end up into the path of McCready.
He goes for it. Didn't quite have the wheels to go. He was just off the 1 step looking for the Zuper. Wagner was waiting for it to go out of bounds, so he had the free kick back in, but didn't get there. Now that kick's popped up a little bit. McDonald made it look good. Wide, and here they go again, Melbourne, to reload. If they score, it'll be dangerous for the Blues here with about 7 3/4 minutes remaining here and just the minor score.
It's Maynard, Corey Maynard.
Sorry, 3 3/4 minutes remaining.
Brother of Braden, who we saw playing for Collingwood last night. So what about the loads between games? Macca, how are we going to handle that? We saw Fremantle last night pick a whole different 10 for the second game. What are Carlton going to do?
Yeah, we've got about 5 on the interchange bench, so to speak. So we have 5 fresh guys for the next game. Might be a few less, but we'll just see how they're feeling during the game.
So a little handball here, and Melbourne again through Bug this time with the 6-pointer. Melbourne scoring freely, 81 plays 53. Sides have been averaging collectively about 100 points in a game, so this is going to obviously improve that average. Out wide, short ball finds O'Brien.
Lucky O'Brien. And another Geelong grammar boy and another man who's got plenty ahead of him as far as AFL footy's concerned. Lots for the Blues to be real excited about. Wagner comes away. Short ball's good to Bug. And he's outside, thought about playing on. In fact, now has to. So he swings with a left foot ball and high contact, so he'll get another look at it. Because we've got about 2.5 minutes left.
He'll get a Zupa opportunity. Well, Andrew, I know you want to get that back down to the team, so we thank you for joining us in the commentary box.
Yeah, thanks, gentlemen.
Andrew McKay there, the head of footy down at the Blues.
And a former champion of that club. Bristol won't say it himself, very humble man, but star. Yes. Great seeing him.
Good on you, mate. So Bug with a Zupa gives himself a little bit of leverage. Distance not a problem. Maybe just offline it is. This is already the highest score in any of the AFLX games by an individual team. Melbourne at 82. Polishing off the record of the Cats last night in the first game.
Silvani ball forward. Lamb flew, unable to take it. Harms keeps him honest. Ball gets shoveled back into the hands of Williamson. Now they can have a look at it through Kennedy from long range, but he's pushed it to the right. And you would expect Melbourne, with the team they've put in, Brian, to be pretty competitive. There aren't too many out there. Maynard may be the only one who's not in their best 22. So,
well, of the squad of 15 they've brought here tonight, 11 of them have played senior football so far. So it's a pretty experienced look. Good. A lot of medium range players, aren't there? Mid-range players.
Pickett from outside 40. Sits a beautiful high ball up, and has it got there? I think it has. No, just marked on the line. Stretch now able to peel off. Talk about Carlton fans having a lot to look forward to. So have Melbourne. Should have played finals footy last year. Very disappointed they didn't, and so they should be. But there's some upside in this list.
There is. And what we're seeing from Melbourne is their foot skills have been pretty good in this game, JB, whereas the Blues haven't been so good in the skill department as far as their kicks go, I reckon. There's Stretch.
One might be up full, only just, but we're inside the last 38 seconds, so Melbourne will record a pretty comfortable win in this first AFLX game of the second series here in Melbourne. Low ball, Jed Lamb has it broken out of his hands. There's Maynard picking it up to Stretch on the up. Petrarca lurking. Dow comes at him. Jeez, he looks nice and clean, Paddy Dow. Back to Marchbank, and we're nearly done.
Pickett. Keep it alive, and that'll just about see it. 10 seconds left in game number 1 here at Etihad Stadium on a Friday night. Sydney tomorrow. Plenty of tickets still available for that. Games in Sydney tomorrow at Allianz Stadium. So there completes the first game of AFLX here at Etihad Stadium. The Blues going down to Melbourne, 54-82. Let's get out on the field. Campbell Brown has, I think, got Jake Melton with him.
I certainly do. A bit of claret coming out the back of the head as well. Welcome back to football.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Thanks, mate. No, it's been good. It's exciting.
3 super goals. We're going to see a little bit more of you as a forward in 2018.
Yeah, definitely. That was where I played in the back half of the year and really found a spot there and enjoy it. So I look forward to the year.
It's a tough spot sometimes if the delivery's not coming in well.
That's all right. You make do with what you got.
How open-minded are the players about a concept like AFLX?
Oh, look, it's good in a way. It prepares you for the season, gets you a good blowout. So you'll notice next week if we're playing JLT, we might not be as buggered in the first quarter. So it's exciting for us, exciting for the fans, and get kicked 10 pointers.
First win for the year. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
I like the lighter blue of that jumper, Brian.
Looks good.
It's saying something to me about the Melbourne Footy Club. Let's get to a break. Second game coming up. Oh, the big rivals too. Hawthorn, Essendon, AFLX. Long way out, runs a bit of an arc and then comes back, and now we can have a ping at the 10-pointer. And that is very nice from the
Game 5 about to get underway. Melbourne taking on North Melbourne. The winner of this game will go through to the grand final. So a bit of excitement starting to build for these two sides. Christian Petrarca, I thought, when Melbourne first played, was fantastic. We understand that the quality of player that he is. He's loving playing in front of the big crowd. They've opened up the third tier here at Etihad Stadium because of the amount of people that are here. And Petrarca, he's in for a big year, I think, Roo.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's at the stage now of his career where you expect him to take the next step. We saw glimpses of it last year. And the D's, they're putting it all on display. They've ditched the jerseys they were in the first game. They've got the traditional Melbourne jumpers on, so no holding back for the Demons tonight.
And North Melbourne have made a couple of changes themselves. Cunnington will come in, Durden as well as Hartung. You reckon this game would suit Billy Hartung, but big Braden Bruce, will he get physical out there?
I'm not sure about whether this is going to suit Brucey or not. Let's hope he can make a case for the ruckman, but so far it's been a run as a midfielder's game.
If it's not going to suit him, he's going to get physical because he will get frustrated, especially if guys like Petrarca start running rings around him. They're up against each other in the centre bounce.
He does have the basketball background though, Petrarca, so that the NBA type tip-off might suit him.
And there's Billy Hartung in North Melbourne colours, having a bit of a chat with his direct opponent. And Neil Bullen, he'll skipper the D's for this game.
Big Brucey. Oh, Petrarca, I think, might have got there, JB. We need a replay of that. Yes. I reckon Petrarca got hold of it and beat Big Brucey. He's followed up with a handball, but a free kick will go the way of the Kangas. Advantage paid now, and umpires get on with it, and so Billy just goes bang.
Wow.
And there's a nice way to start.
I reckon you're right, Brian. First hand Petrarca.
Yep.
Bounces off the chest of McDonald. He's inside defensive 50, shovels it back to Wagner, short to Petrarca. He's just got to hold up on the wing. That was a very clever 10-point goal there from Billy Hartung, and I think you'll find Harms has a ping at it himself now from long range. No, he sees something in the pocket he likes in the form of McDonald and steers it into his hands.
Both these sides are Zupa specialists. North have kicked 5 in their first game tonight, and the D's got 7 in their first game of the night tonight. So they're both Zupa specialists here. Tom McDonald just checking with the umpire as to where the mark was. Using all of his allotted 20 seconds on the shot clock. Comes in from about 25, and that's a nicely created 6-point opportunity for the D's.
New faces in this game. Fritsch will have a look at for Melbourne. Zerha plays his first game tonight.
Big Maxi Gorn's going to join us.
Hello, Big Maxwell. Yep. Billy Hartung we've already seen, and this is him with the footy now, steering it wide. Nice long ball. There is Zerha. Over the top, Higgins can run onto it. Got to be clean from here. Neil Bullen with him. Did that so talentedly, did Sean Higgins, and the left foot squaring ball, not going to work. Petrarca drops what he probably normally would have taken, but butters up. Handball into the path of Harms.
Oh, well done.
Back to Jetta.
Jetta now. Little hook quick kick over the top here, and might just beat Melksham, who looked a little restricted in his running there, but that's a beautiful left foot kick across the body, and McDonald to go back and slot through his second 6-pointer in as many minutes as Max Gawn from the Melbourne Footy Club. Good enough to come up and join us. Welcome here, Max.
Thanks for having me, gents. It's exciting.
Yeah, what do you make of it?
It's good. Tom could have worn some white boots for the occasion. His boots aren't very flush, but it's quite exciting to watch.
He's about to stick his second through in as many minutes, so he's had a nice start to this game, Tommy McDonald. That made the goal umpire work, but I reckon it's there. Now, Braden Bruce is out there playing in this game, Maxie, so the obvious question is, why aren't you?
Is he actually?
Yeah, the big Brucey?
No, I didn't think it's a ruckman game. I like to see it as, if we talk 2020 with the cricket, I'm more of your Simon Kadich, just more of your test purist. I don't think I'll get involved too much in this game.
The traditionalist, Maxi Gawn.
That's it. Harms has the ball. Let's get down to Campbell Brown.
Well, Maxi's job in the team might be up for grabs here, because we've got the ruckman.
Yeah.
Came up against Braden Bruce. You've played plenty of positions, but never ruck.
Well, he told me he couldn't jump, so...
You actually won that hit.
No, I didn't. No, you got me fair and square.
And mate, those quads of yours, what are you squatting at the moment? Because they would have to be the biggest quads in the art.
I thank my mum for feeding me a lot of pasta and pizza. So
body's going well.
Body's going well, mate. It's good.
Good luck for the rest of you.
I appreciate it.
Christian Petrarca, he's a great young guy, Maxie, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he's having a stellar pre-season as well, and he's put on a couple of tricks tonight. It's his type of game, this one, nice and quick.
Wagner into Neil Bullen there. Trying to bust out of that is Narrier. Now the opportunity comes with Fritsch. Boy out of Coldstream here in Victoria. Ground level ball. Melksham just bundled out of the way by Higgins. This game is really suited to Sean Higgins, no doubt about it. Funny little half-deliberate underground kick there by Higgins.
Got it to Hartung. Donald will want his left side. He gets it. Steers it wide. Very nice ball too into the hands of Sean Higgins. He's got Cunnington on long. Doesn't get to him.
There comes Neville.
Cut out by Neville Jetta. Beautiful intercept defender to Wagner, and Wagner gets it to half forward. That's Tommy Bug. I reckon he's marked that just inside. He's got Petrarca just outside. He's got to stay out there. Good game awareness.
See how he got as close as he could to the 40 line there.
The Raging Bull has a ping but misses it to the left. And they're firing away left of screen here, Melbourne. They're not making the Kangaroos pay as yet.
They look like, Max, that they're loving it, the players, loving the opportunity to do something different.
Oh, it's the first time not playing against yourself, which I'm sure majority of people are saying, but 3-4 months of just training against yourself gets a bit boring at times. So coming out against opposition, and we haven't been in North Melbourne for a long time, so any time we can get them is good.
What would be the Max Gawn stamp on the game if you had to make a change in this game now? Add something, deduct something, what would you do?
Maybe a centre bounce to start. I'm a big fan of the centre bounce. It would be nice and interesting to get a centre bounce.
Yep. Big Brucey. Set shot from Braden. He might have worked that to the right. So this introduction or talk about the bounce going out and it being thrown up permanently, you don't like?
I'm a big fan of the bounce, not necessarily for my ruck work. I'm just a fan. I'm a purist of the game. I enjoy the bounce.
Contested ball here. Big defensive fist from Zerha. McDonald hits up at it, gets it off to Narrier. Narrier gets his own ball back and slides it over the top. Look at Big Brucey. He's in all styles. Got to get the handball to Zerha. Does so, and there's a...
Well
come on, Brucey.
Well done, Brucey. Braden Bruce at 206 centimetres. Excellent job from him. Remember, winner of this game through to the grand final. A draw will see Melbourne go through on percentage. Nice elevation there by Harms. Back inside.
Look at Brucey.
Here's Bug. Here comes Brucey.
Oh, no.
A little bit of pressure, but Bug said, I reckon I can go around you.
Stuck it through.
Was he late to a training? Are they making him play?
I don't know. I love it, though. I love seeing different styles of football are taking this game on. It's great. What about your pre-season, Max? Last pre-season, they were telling us it was one of the great pre-seasons by a big man. You put Todd Goldstein up and said, right, I'm going to be better than him and I've got to put the work in to do it. How have you gone with this one?
Yeah, so I'm one of those guys that tends to not get injured during the pre-season, more during the years, my flavour. So I've done every session, managed to train along, which is good, and hopefully nice and fit, and hopefully I can take that into the season.
Tommy Bug from outside, he hasn't hit that well. That's going out the full.
They're not kicking very well. They might need the silver footies back.
North have won the last 17 times they've played against Melbourne, JB. So this is the bogey side for the D's.
Has been, and I know that because I have a quiet side wager with our great mate, the former great of the Melbourne Footy Club, and he hasn't paid 17 times.
He's a known non-payer.
Ty Simpkin can't get it out of the hands of Harms. What a nice piece of work that was. Squaring ball not as good. McDonald's got to come back and win it. Gave it to Durden, and Durden now finds Higgins. But they're battling here, the Kangaroos. Melbourne have got them off the bit.
Huntington will want to play on. He'll get the free. That's a professional free by Tom McDonald, I reckon.
Handball on the up. Jai Simpkin can look at it from long range. Can't see anything he likes the look of, so he handballs to a man who was being tackled. Jake Melcham comes in, picks the footy up inside the defensive area. Good hands by Jetta. And now at the back, it's Billy Stretch.
So in the big picture, Max, the Melbourne Footy Club, the pre-season this year have been everything you'd hope for, and has everyone come out of it looking pretty unscathed so far?
Yeah, reasonably well. Probably just the guy we saw on screen before, Jack Viney, seems to be the only one that is still in rehab, but he's due for a round one sort of return. So as good as pre-seasons can go, we've probably done that.
Petrarca immediately into Fritsch, and there's a 6-pointer.
Got control of this game, Melbourne.
Yep.
He should actually be further in front if they'd managed to kick straight. There's the coach, Simon Goodwin, looking furrowed.
He's probably not doing too much tonight. He's handed over the reins to Craig Jennings.
Tell us about Craig Jennings, the coach that's coaching tonight. He was ops analysis, was he not?
Yeah, so he's a very different cat. He's taken this very seriously. So obviously he's been given a chance to senior coach, which is pretty exciting for anyone, and he's taken it very seriously. He wants to win, so it's probably why the boys are out there playing some pretty good football.
Neville Jetta's got the footy and he's a long way out. Doesn't take a very good kick. He had a good matchup long, McDonald on Billy Hartung, but he ignored that. Not sure if he's going to unleash the barrel here, Neville, or just go for the drop punt. He's hit the drop punt and flushed it wide out the full. So we've got about 40 seconds to go, and Melbourne all over the Kangaroos.
Have a look at the beanbags in the back. Maxie, you could see yourself watching the game from there.
I was actually watching it before. There's a 40-year-old male in there who took a pack mark against 10-year-olds before.
No, did he?
He did.
Oh, we've got to get him out. He's banned. There's the ruse. Bit of a stiff arm there. Well done. In the end.
Might have given away a free, I think, Zerha.
Yeah.
If we win this, does this count as breaking the hoodoo?
Yes, I think it does. Yeah, for me it does.
I don't think so.
1-0 for the Doos.
I think it does. But
Long
anyway,
ball.
Yep.
They've got not much time left. In fact, I think it might have run out. But it's a very impressive first half if you're a fan of the Demons. 31-17 is the break they take in to half-time. And we've got a big run home coming up next. AFLX at Etihad Stadium.
Well, the fun continues here at Etihad Stadium. I think I'd snapped in half if I tried that, but I know you've got the flexibility to still be playing the game, Roo, but we look at Braden Pruce, the tallest man to ever play AFLX at 206 centimetres. He was up against Christian Petrarca at the first centre bounce. How'd he go?
Well, height doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the tip-off. Christian Petrarca's outreached him, out-jumped him. We know he's good mates with Ben Simmons, so he's had the basketball influence, but if you're a Melbourne fan, you'd be really pleased with what you've seen in the first game and then the first half here against North Melbourne. They look really sharp.
He is going to hurt someone in this second half. We know that he likes to drive the knee up at a centre bounce. He doesn't like this tip-off stuff, Braden Pruce, but look out here.
He gets a chance to redeem himself here, Jono.
We'll wait and see what happens here up against Christian Petrarca again. The winner of this game goes through to the grand final at half-time. It's Melbourne leading by 14 points. They dominated North Melbourne in that first half of football. Very competitive once again, and we know that's what Melbourne bring.
And again against Pruce.
Here we go.
It was still cold, what's his name? Still warm, what's his name?
Yes. This is Hartung.
Yeah.
And sits a high one up. Cunnington, defensive fist, well done by Jetta, get through for just a behind.
Playing as a genuine full forward today, Ben Cunnington.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. We were talking about that before, and he has been there for many long balls in so far. Neville, gee, that's a risky kick. Neil Bullen. Brucey gets it. A little screw on the footy. What about that? He turns to Neil Bullen. He said, see, that's why I picked.
Quick release from Jetta. Harms has got it.
Hold there, hold, Sean there.
He'll slide it over the top. There is Neil Bullen. Good attributes for this game, Neil Bullen. That's off the side of the boot. Petrarca, though, works beautifully back to the footy. And then a quick release from him to McDonald. McDonald gets taken now. Oh, big Brucey! Just ragdolled him! And then rubs his mush into the deck.
A one-arm ragdoll. Oh.
That has made my day. My favourite ruckman against my least favourite teammate.
Oh, Tom
great.
McDonald. There's a certain cockiness about Tom, and he just bit off too much of Pruce.
That is hilarious.
McDonald sliding the long ball to that man that Maxie Gawn spoke of that's playing inside the 40, and he gets a free here. Looks to unload to Higgins. Don't know why he didn't go. Higgins demanding the footy, saying, give it to me. I'm the star act here. And now Higgins from Zupa range misses.
Why is Braden Pruce your favourite ruckman, please, Max Gawn?
I like how he goes about it. We had a nice little chat, actually, last time we played, and he's a strong boy, and he does stuff like that, which is good to watch.
Here's Billy Hartung, former Hawk. Petrarca tracking him down. And the left foot of McDonald's just going to sit out in front of Zerha. Work to do here. And Jai Simpkin tries to keep it in. He does, but it's going to suit the Demons. Wagner. Melcham, who's kicked a heap of 10-pointers. That's steered in the wrong direction. Just left at the big opening and they're behind.
That'll wind Tom McDonald up, thanks.
It's getting kicked over his head a lot.
Tell us about Christian Petrarca. I think we're all waiting for him to explode.
Yeah, so he's had a stellar pre-season, which most people have, to be honest, at our club this year. He's taken a fair bit of time off his 2K, so that's going to give him the chance to potentially play midfield, and then he's playing a game like this, which is a genuine midfielder's game. So hopefully he can take some good form in JLT and play some good footy this year.
Who's the best 2K'er at the club, Maxie?
It's been Tom McDonald for 10 years, but Tom Bug got him this year.
Really?
So the first time he's lost, and good from Buggy because he had a bit of an interrupted year last year, and he's won back some respect from the get-go.
Excellent. Tom McDonald, the big fella too.
Yeah.
What sort of times he get around in the 6 or?
Yeah, the low sixes. Yeah. Tom McDonald got double ankle surgery this year, so that's probably why he potentially didn't win it. But
right,
I'm not going to give him that out.
Should have been holding the ball there, but Ben Cunnington not paid. It's going to end up in the hands of Stretch anyway. His short ball's good to Melcham.
He's got a good foot, Melcham.
Yep, kicked some 10-pointers already. 3 in that first game.
He'll look to pass, and I think he'll go home.
Next gone, that's the voice you're hearing. Superstar All-Australian ruckman for the Demons. Look at this, Look at that big banger. That puts a big spread now between these two clubs.
that is a Zuper, if I've seen one. And they have been all over the Zoopers tonight, the Melbourne Footy Club. His Bug, quick little shifty handball inside to Stretch, and now an opportunity with Fritsch, and he misses. Tell us a little about Bailey Fritsch, Maxie.
Yeah, he's come up from the VFL team, Casey Scorpions. So we've got a couple of Casey boys now that have managed to find their way on the list, and for his skinny frame, he's a very, very good one-on-one player.
Sam Durden, one pick 3 or 4 years ago for the Kangaroos. Big, tall defender, goes hoofing it long, looking for Higgins, and I think Higgins may have given away a free kick for a push. That's going to get Tommy Bug the footy. So well placed in this game, Melbourne. 44-25, 19-point leaders over North Melbourne. Spot in the grand final coming up. Long ball inside 50 from Stretch. One out. Durden locked up.
Oh, great recovery.
But that was magnificent recovery.
Melcham.
And Melcham's able to kick a very important goal for Melbourne.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Really well done. The contest halved, and then the recovery.
What's the equivalence to Norm Smith in this game? Melcham could be on it.
Yeah, well, we might call it the Melcham medal.
Oh, look at that pocket pick.
Did it well, and then just goes the nice little right foot slider. Misses. Back into play here. Ahern quickly out, but not ready to take it, but somehow did in the end. Hartung, and he lets it go from Duper range. Misses. He's gone the high number, Billy, hasn't he? 39 after being a low number operator.
Half of this second half gone, and that probably had to go through for the Kangas. Melbourne have got control of this game. Neil Bullen in the back half. On the 45 to Bug. Bug can go longer. There is Melcham, the man that Max Gawn's already nominated as best on ground, or best in tournament.
Yeah, I reckon he's almost best in tournament too.
Over the top. This is Fritsch. Fritsch is going to run on and kick a very nice goal. Melbourne starting to dominate here at Etihad. Campbell Brown.
Jim, I'm just standing down here in front of the Saints boys. They're just limbering up. They're obviously coming into play next. They play Hawthorn, and the winner of that game goes on to play the winner of this game we're seeing, which at the moment looks like it is going to be Melbourne. So they are starting to switch on and look a little bit more serious.
It looks like they're playing a relatively new squad behind you, Brownie. They came in with 20, so they rested 10. Are these 10 all new, do you think?
There's a couple that played in the first game, but they have got plenty of fresh legs for this game number 2.
Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. It's coming up. The final of the 6 pool games that have been played here in a moment. St Kilda taking on the Hawks. Here's Melcham again. Little handball off. Harms just stepping backwards. Careful. Placement. Petrarca. Winner of this game through to the granny. Petrarca down the line. Tom McDonald got a fly against Luke McDonald. And no win there.
To the umpire to decide who's going to end up with the ball. They're giving it to Tom McDonald. one's going forward and just inside the field of play. It gets to Harms. Campbell Brown.
Acting coach tonight, Benny McGlynn. Chance for the grand final up for grabs if he can win this second game.
Yeah, good first game from the young boys. So it's hopefully, yeah, we go out and play in the same manner as the boys did in the first game, and yeah, who knows how we go.
AFLX, I reckon, if you'd have been around 5 or 6 years ago and this was invented, would have been perfect for you aerobically. You got a great kick, but not too many super goals coming off your leg because you couldn't kick over a jam team.
No, that wasn't my goal. I'd be able to run around, chase and tackle, but wouldn't be able to kick over 40, so it would have extended my career if this come in 4 years ago. So, but no, it's a good concept, and the boys are enjoying it. So that's the main thing.
What about the physicality? We haven't seen too much physicality today. Is that an instruction from the coaching staff? We don't want injuries, or it's just the free flowing the way the game's played?
Well, I think it's free flowing in terms of it's been a lot of space out there, only 7 aside, so it's pretty not much contest, which is probably a good thing for the spectators, but and also the conditioning staff, they're pretty happy there's no collisions this time of year because we're still a few weeks out of JLT, but the boys are enjoying it.
That's great to see again. It's been a while.
Higgins with the goal there, good opportunity for him. Maxi, 74 games for yourself. That's a Zupa there, in fact. What's the most amount of games you've played in any 1 year?
I got 22 out in 2016.
Right.
And I've also done a lot where I've played every game that year, but some of them were in the VFL. So I've had some good injury-free seasons. Last year, obviously, wasn't one of them.
McDonald, long ball. Now he's got to come back and contest hard. The French off the ground. Well done. Answering goal for the Demons, who are grand final bound.
32 Zupa goals tonight in total. We had 32 last night. We've still got a game to come, JB.
Cunnington hits up at the footy. I think the one thing we've worked out just watching this game unfold is Big Brucey's blown up.
Yep.
He did some nice things, the big ruckman, but he's sitting it down at the minute, Maxi.
Put him on ice.
He's done his work for the night.
Well, Maxi, we appreciate you coming up to give us a few moments up here, and good luck with the main part of the year, the traditional part of the year, as you like.
Thanks heaps, boys. We're off to the big dance, the D's.
Yes, into the granny, JB, the D's.
I like it. I like the swagger. It's good. We need Melbourne back in the finals. It'd be great to see. Long ball inside, forward 50. Gets out the back of Durden.
Tom needs to get a touch.
And we've got about 30 seconds left. Short ball doesn't quite work. Cunnington lurking. Look away handball, Hartung. Back to McDonald, who'll want his left side. He'll go Zupa style here. Yep. He's hit it nicely too. 10 points, McDonald.
Yep, but not going to be enough because 15 seconds left in the game. It's all huff and puff. That's all we're getting here because the Demons are going to get through. One game to come. St Kilda Hawthorn in the last game. And Petrarca looks up at the scoreboard and says, right, I'm going to take me 20, and there it is, game over. Melbourne have defeated North Melbourne 70-46 in game 5. Thanks, Max, for your time.
Thanks, boys.
Good on you, Maxi. Always great to see one of the great cult figures of our game and an elite player as well. 70-46. Tommy Buggs down there with Campbell Brown.
Yeah, very happy Tommy Bugg here through to the grand final.
Yeah, extremely happy. We got Craig Jennings on board at senior coach, and he really wants to win it. So
beautiful. Maxi was up in the box saying that you came back fitter than you've ever been. Won the 2K time trial. Actually knocked off Tommy McDonald.
Yeah, I did. I had a lot to prove after disappointing last year, but I feel like I've come back with a lot of energy, and I want to repay the club. And I'm just grateful to be out here tonight.
Absolutely. So how did you go through the pre-season in terms of your loads and your training intensity?
Yeah, really good. We've got a great support staff there in the strength and conditioning with Dave Misson, and they're trying to get the best out of us. But this game, it's innovating every year, so it's getting different. And we're just looking to play fast and good footy. So
do you feel that this group is building towards something?
Definitely. We're a young group, and I think a lot of guys have taken on leadership responsibilities this year, like Alex Neil-Bullen, and only with that, it's going to make us a better team overall anyway.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks, bro.
Well done, Tommy Bugg down there with Campbell Brown. Grand final bound are the Demons, and that's exciting for them. We've got a big game coming up next. The Hawks to take on the Saints. An all-new St Kilda lineup from the first game. David Armitage is going to be part of our commentary team when we come back. Those boys are happy. The Medallion Club, by the way, let's talk about that. Australia's best sports and entertainment membership is right here in Melbourne. It's Medallion Club, and applications are now open.
And we are in for a cracking contest. We're underway.
It's exciting for us, exciting for the fans, and get kicked 10 pointers.
Long way out, runs a bit of an arc and then comes back, and now we can have a ping at the 10-pointer. And that is very nice from the former Bomber.
Melbourne will take on Hawthorn in the grand final of AFLX here at Etihad Stadium. There's over 22,000 people here tonight, Nick. Over 10,000 last night, and we understand 15,000 tickets have been sold for Allianz Stadium in Sydney tomorrow. So it's been big so far.
Yeah, it has, and you can see why. It's just so accessible for the fans that the players are right up next to the kids. The marks up, the show that's been going on behind the goals has been terrific. Results so far: Melbourne over the Blues in the first game. Hawthorn took care of the Bombers. North took care of the Blues, sent them home. The Saints had a win up over the Bombers. Melbourne booked a spot in the grand final over North Melbourne. And then the Hawks, on the back of a big second half, they just booked their spot in the grand final.
And it was James Sicily who set them up in that second half. He had a fantastic game. He was launching a few big goals himself and taking some good contested marks.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he plays this year. He spent a lot of last year down back late in the season. Gunston as well spent time down back. So he's got the capacity to be a real swing man for Hawthorn, like we've seen Jack Gunston do in the past. So he's got a lot of talent. He's not lacking any confidence, John O'Rourke.
I thought that was Dermot Burden right
in the
there.
gold boots. So he fits the bill nicely, and yeah, he's got the makings of a really special player.
What about the D's then? How do you think, one, they will go from what you've seen tonight in X with the quality that they've got? They've got a strong team tonight. How will they go this year, do you think?
I think it's all in the psychology for the D's. They've picked their best side for this last game. So what that says to me is Simon Goodwin, he's sending a message that the D's mean business this year. That everything they do, everything they're a part of, they want to win. And I think Melbourne are going to be one of the big movers this season.
Well, they are. Some of the big star teammates are watching on as well. Big Maxi Gawn is having a look at tonight's proceedings. Benny Brown, Todd Goldstein, all the big guys.
What's going on? Let's get the big boys out there.
Now some of the midfield stars, Dyson Heppel, Jack Viney, they're all here watching the AFLX tonight. Just about set for the AFLX Grand Final here at Etihad Stadium. Melbourne taking on Hawthorn.
Tip off. Tommy Bugg got involved. Neil Bullen pursuing the footy. Out there with him is Hanrahan, the crunching tackle, and the ball off hands is going to end up going Melbourne's way, and it's Neil Bullen. He must kick it from outside the field of play. He does so now. High ball forward. McDonald pushes his direct opponent O'Brien out of the way. There is Connor Nash now out of half-back. Look at the room to move here. Running onto it, Hanrahan, and will come in and kick a very simple goal to start us off in the grand final.
Set him a task, and Hanrahan had the wheels to go with the kick that was launched over the top to set him into space. Jetta. Need to continue to play with the freedom Melbourne they have all night. Here's Tom McDonald just trying to stiff arm Hardwick, and Hardwick made sure he had the last little laugh there, and mark taken deep here by Melksham, who's been player of the tournament for sure. A little kick over the top, and Bugg kicks an easy one for the Demons. Yeah, Melksham's been very impressive tonight, JB.
Strong. O'Brien's not a small boy, and he couldn't push him off the ball. Burton out wide.
Right there. Play on your round, play on.
Cut off a kick on the 45 and then goes for the safer one down the line. Harms parked under it. Should take a simple mark. Got Brayshaw just come on the ground. He sees him. Outside 50. Tries to come back in on the left, and then that's a very nice little touch ball for Tommy Bugg, who's about 35 out, not much angle. Get the ball into your best ball user's hands, and that's what happens. Handball off now. Harms from outside 50. Has a look at a 10-pointer, pulls it to the left.
So, Brownie, what do you make of these two grand final teams? How are you going to see this played, do you reckon?
Oh, I think that Melbourne have the distinct advantage considering they're coming off a rest. It's a pretty physically taxing game, as we've heard all the players say all night, and Hawthorn have had to play back-to-back, so you'd think Melbourne will come home strong.
There's Nash, and another serious sprint down the ground there. Fist on the ball on that occasion from Maynard. Sees Brayshaw and sets him a task. Last touch over the line will allow Willsmore the free. Now, I reckon next year he could be kicking for 10 points from there. but not tonight.
That's not far enough. So Willsmore will get it back, and he gets smashed over the line by Maynard. Maynard will get the free.
Both the Maynard boys are pretty tough customers, aren't they? The other one playing for Collingwood, of course.
Yep. The old man was a reasonable footballer too for Melbourne, and Glenelg in the sandful.
Really bent up nose look about him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did. Aesthetically not pleasing, but played the game nicely. That's a last touch over the line, I reckon, as well. And it will go Melbourne's way. Harms. Looks over the top to Wagner. Not quite going to get to him. Nash was involved as well. Here's Melcham on the left. Jake the Snake. He has had some sort of evening.
Yep. Been a star. Now that's a Zupa. Gee.
Wow.
Didn't know that he got that from outside the 40. So Jakey Melcham on fire. 5 super goals for Melcham tonight alone. So 5 Zupas for him is a very, very good net. Hanrahan tried to go too low with the footy on that occasion. Melbourne under a little bit of pressure here, and the smother was nice. And well done by Ross, and then the little finish as well. And what about that for a double act?
He got that with the instep, but managed to get it through. Melbourne 17-12 at the moment, but plenty to go in the grand final. Short ball finds Maynard. Gets a shove as he takes the mark. He's got Brayshaw on the 45. If he wants to use him, he goes further afield. Good vision. McDonald in the middle. Got runners either side. Petrarca tracking back into space. The Raging Bull gets reefed into the ground, gets a kick away. Brayshaw now.
Oh, he's stepping out behind the line.
He wants to have a look, and then the left foot wasn't up to it.
He thought he was playing basketball. He said, damn this, I'll step behind the three-point line and have a bang.
I don't mind that if what you do next is quality.
Yeah, he was off balance, though, and falling away from the goal. So it was probably never going to happen. But just interesting the way that players are thinking in this game about what is possible. Here's Bug. Trying to get it over the top. Little nipple on it here for the Hawks. Warple through traffic. Sensed and did really well. Good little ball, finds Morrison. Handball, missed Ross, but opportunity here for Burton. Went through, knock ball. Brayshaw tidies up here. In one side, out the other. Can they go direct? Here he is, the superstar of the tournament, Melcham.
Melcham's got players on long, doesn't want to go there. Prefers to go to Petrarca, gets to him. Now here comes Jetta from 10-point range. And he's pulled it to the left. James Warple's an interesting player. Campbell Brown.
Raps coming out of Hawthorn about James Warple, ready-made player. He made that big, strong tackle on Petrarca. He loves the physicality, and they think he can step straight into this Hawthorn side.
Yeah, out of the Geelong Falcons. I think played in that Falcons Premiership Cup side for TAC Cup this year. So well done to him, and here he is in the big time now. Neil Bullen played in all of the games so far. Short ball finds Wagner. Wagner over the top, back to Neil Bullen. Sold it nicely and slid it up the middle, and good opportunity here now for Harms, I think it is. And he will be kicking from Zupa range as well. So noses in front at the moment here, the Demons. First half only got just over 3 remaining in it, and nice kick for the Zupa. So Harms nails a 10-pointer.
Just bear in mind how hard the Hawks bounced back in the second half of the last game we saw, so no lead big enough. Long ball back into play, good hands O'Brien. We see a lot of that from him, and the 45-degree ball's also very good to Nash. Handball over the top. Hanrahan had a little fumble. Might have had a little look too. And he got reefed into the ground by Harms. Petrarca now. Just trying to see what's ahead of him. There wasn't much, so he went by hand to Neil Bullen. Broken up. Hanrahan, the snap, goal. Forward pressure from Warple. Really good.
Excellent footy from Warple. Harms. The Demons with the lead of 29-18 here. McDonald. And that one kicked out by the Demons, so it'll be a kick back into play here for Morrison. Young side out there, the Hawks tonight. A great deal of experience and doing a real good job here at the moment. Ross. And incorrect disposal, so Melbourne can go if they want. They did have McDonald on a little bit long and getting the ball back to Melksham. Jetta offers something.
It's a red hot holding the ball. Long ball forward. Oh, well done. Tommy Bugg focusing hard on the footy with traffic coming at him. Talked about getting the respect of his teammates. That's the way that'll happen.
Wagner's on here.
Go back with the flight. He gives it to Wagner. Well read, Bristle. He'll want his left side, Wagner. It got closed down, and that's why the kick went wide. Let's get down to Campbell Brown.
If you don't think the boys are taking it seriously, just look at that last contest. I think that's the most physical we've seen in the last 2 nights in this AFLX tournament. Great mark from Tommy Bugg with the flight.
Standing pretty close to Max Bailey there. How much coaching input are they getting here tonight?
No, not a whole lot, BT. It's sort of the players are just coming on and off the ground, and Max might speak to them really briefly, but there's not a lot of coaching going on down here.
Melksham again. This time just the 1-pointer. And Brownie, when both teams are up on their feet and coaches as well, and they're standing in the box, they can't wait to get involved, eh?
Yeah, they're absolutely engaged, and it's funny, all night the players haven't really cared when they've gone on and off the ground, but Ryan Burton was screaming at his teammates to come off and get him back out there, so they mean business.
What about 70-metre talk to bring the ball back in? Now McDonald's got work to do. Dangerous place to turn the footy over. Centre of the ground, Nash, Warple from long range, and he's pulled it to the left of behind.
Thanks, Alex, from behind.
They'll keep coming, Hawthorn. They have all night. Releasing kick to Melksham.
Oh, there.
Melksham's got Brayshaw on short, uses him.
Thank you, hold.
I just wonder whether the experience that Melbourne have got over Hawthorn here will play a part in this game, perhaps in the second half, as we've got 25 seconds left in the first half here. Melksham now. It's non-preferred, straightens it up for Harms, but Hardwick did well to just ease him under the footy a little here now, and had a go at Harms, but couldn't keep it in place. So free kick, Hawthorn and Hardwick.
Hardwick was the player who ripped that barrel out before. Siren. Not much in it. 12-point spread at the half. Lots more to come. AFLX 2 Grand Final. Melbourne, Hawthorn, Etihad Stadium.
The stars are out here. Michael Hurley getting photos. You got Robertson and McCartan. Very, very happy. And none happier than that young man there once he got the Sharon in the hand.
The yellow
he loved
one. He loves the yellow Sharon.
He did. Melbourne are leading this game, this grand final, by 12 points at half-time. We must remember that Hawthorn did come back in game 6 against the Saints to have a big win. So can they do it again here to take out the AFLX title? What about Angus Brayshaw? Have you seen his return to footy?
Well, it's fantastic for a start that he's back out there playing. We know he wears a helmet now, dealing with all those concussions. But if he can get a good run at it, he's essentially a new recruit for the D's leading into 2018. We know they've recruited really heavily, getting Lever across from the Crows, so to be able to plug him back into that midfield or across half-back where we saw him late last year, that'd be huge if he's able to develop some continuity with his footy, because we know he's a high draft pick, top talent. Hope it goes well for him.
Yeah, it is very exciting to get him back in the midfield along with Petrarca and the like in there. Nathan Jones, who's been a stalwart for Melbourne for a long time, and Jack Viney also. Tom McDonald playing up forward, doing a good job. As always, Thomas Buggs had an excellent first half as well for the D's.
Hands out of the middle of Tommy Bugg. Left foot from long range. This would be a good start. He might have just ripped it to the right for a behind.
From behind again. Keep going.
Can't afford to go defensive at all here, Melbourne. Got to keep attacking. Had player after player join us here tonight, and they all say just got to think attack, and it's foreign to them because they're told so often defence, 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 but this game tonight, all about attack. Burton, of course, the turnover there. Bugg, little kick back inside, mark taken by Morrison. Handball onto Burton. Burton now goes from a long way out.
Look at that.
That's a ripper. Zuper.
I reckon in the first half, Brian, he kicked the longest 10-pointer we've seen in the comp so far. It was almost beyond the wide X, and that was from long range too. So Ryan Burton on fire. Now just 3 points. Long ball back in. Melcham been really good. Got rid of his direct opponent. And that was Burton, and then took the mark. Long now into McDonald, who got out the back on the smaller Hanrahan, then takes the mark directly in front.
Mark's here. Tom, just come around. 10 gone. 10 seconds gone.
Real mismatch.
Mark's here. Thanks, Christian.
Big Tom.
15.
He's using every bit of his 20 seconds.
181 centimetres Hanrahan, so he's never going to have the size for Big Tommy. He comes in, he makes the goal umpire work, but it's there.
Same again, just from behind the line, please.
9-point lead, Melbourne.
Maxie Gorn mentioned earlier tonight he's one of their 2K time trial specialists, Big Tom McDonald. I never knew he had that in him. Good endurance. Harms. The muscle. Petrarca snuck up on the inside, but coming off the bench to stop that was Nash. So now Neil Bullen, the intended target. Burton trying to spin out of trouble, but Petrarca had him covered. Well done by Bug to Neil Bullen. A quick kick out of the pack. Brayshaw will be under immediate pressure here from Hanrahan. Got him high. Did he duck? Umpire said yep. Or is it last touched out of bounds? It's a Hawthorn ball anyway to Hanrahan.
Almost ripped the helmet off Angus Brayshaw. Hasn't had it on all pre-season. And once the whips start cracking, he's got it on. I think wears it as much for his mum's mental health as anything else. And I don't blame him, because it's been pretty stressful for the family with all the head injuries he's had.
Good game to get his confidence, though, knowing you're probably not going to get a head hit in this, isn't it? Not a lot of contact.
Played the back end of last season and started to play really well. So fingers crossed for Angus, as he might end up on the end of this, although it's short to Bug. It wasn't a great kick. Chopped out by the Hawks. And this could really make it hurt, but Dylan Moore misses to the left-hand side of behind for him.
Kicking, short kicking, got to be perfect in this game. Neville Jetta has to pinpoint out wide, and he did it really well to Harms. Players pushing forward here. Just slides that over the top to Neil Bullen. He can get it and go. Decided to wait, even though he had 3 options or 3 players inside 50. Now to Bug. He elevates. I thought he had a real good earn of that footy. Umpire said no, so we keep going here as Nash. Dashing run. Hardwick ran out of space and ran out of bounds, so Melbourne free, and Neville's after him and a little angry with him as well. 2 hard nuts going at it here, and Neville just making sure the head of Hardwick just gets a little bit of a welcome to the ground.
Yes.
Brownie.
Brown, look at him.
You're right there, Brownie.
BT, you want to know why he's wearing the number 15 jumper? I reckon you saw it just there, Blake Hardwick. He's got a lot of mongrel in him, and that was a great contest.
Up out of his seat, Campbell Brown. As soon as he gets a whiff of anything like that, he's all over it. Ball to the back, Neil Bullen makes a contest of it. Melcham's been fantastic, releasing handball to Brayshaw, back to Melcham. Tight confines, he rips it around the side, through the hands of Maynard. Brayshaw with a crunching tackle. Have some of that. Now Neil Bullen to finish, and he does.
So that was great play. Hey, Brownie, have you seen any sign of any injuries on the benches tonight?
No, there's been absolutely no injuries, which is fantastic for everyone involved. But don't worry about the bruise-free football of AFLX. This is the game that they should highlight just how exciting it is when there's some big hits and tackles.
10 tackles for Melbourne. None better than that one from Angus Brayshaw. A pole-driving bruiser. It was. There's Hardwick, Petrarca. Game getting just a little serious here now. The last 5 minutes of the grand final. Anyone's game, 44-30, and they're now officially playing for keeps. Here's Harms. Thought about going, but he will get a Zupa opportunity. No, it's just inside the 40. So just the 6 points on offer here. He'll wait for the Hawthorn players to clear out to the Melbourne players, Hawthorn players to clear out. Try and give it off for a 40 opportunity.
Shot here from Harms. Looks like he might have pushed it right. And just behind the result. So 14 points. Hawthorn, the fatigue factor is what's interesting. They've just played the game before this one to earn a spot in this grand final, and it's going to be pretty hard for some of these boys to back straight up and play again. Nash.
They're pretty fit, JB. They are only playing a total of 60 minutes footy for the night.
There's only 7 on the ground, though, I guess. They keep talking about how fatiguing it is. the players we speak to. Short ball. Tia Miles off to Burton. Inside, so it's only a 6-point go, but it's stuck through.
Oh, it's tightening up. 9 points now. Demons from fullback. Bug with a high footy. Good mark, Melksham. The runner, McDonald. The Zuper on offer. He's been run down from behind. Great tackle from Warple. Not paid.
Jeez.
Not paid.
Had to be.
And as a result, a Zuper from Bug.
Jimmy Warple. You can hear the Hawks fans not happy. He's going to get on the end of this. He goes sideways to Burton. Jeez, that looked like the perfect tackle, didn't it? Burton off a step. Gets it into the hands of Hardwick. 3 minutes to go. 19 points the margin. Hardwick rips a long ball. Misses. Just to behind. Let's have a look at the Warple tackle.
Yeah, well, here it is. He ran him down. Or they may have just handballed it in the end, Tom McDonald. Umpire may have given him a bit of a latitude, or at least that's what the call was, I would say. Whether your interpretation at home is right or wrong, I think that's what his interpretation was. And here's an opportunity as well from Ross. Couldn't quite close it. 7.5 minutes gone of the 10 allotted time. Brayshaw back in here now.
As the fatigue kicks in, the presenting up just evaporates.
Doesn't it?
This is Petrarca with a very clever one-handed mark.
It becomes more the one-on-one thing, doesn't it?
They just have not got the wheels to turn around and come back up at the footy. Inside the forward 50. This man's been electric. Jake Melksham just missed near side. 2 minutes left. Lots of work for the Hawks to do.
Very serious there. Craig Jennings, I think that was, the coach of Melbourne we just saw, urging his team on. Hardwick now running out of time here for the Hawks as that one's knocked away from O'Brien, but as a result will be his free. Now he could go back and slot this. It's a kick of 50 metres. Short ball, Hardwick. Warple marks, but it's only a 6-pointer. Needs to find a 10-point opportunity.
Yep, needs to go quick too.
Yep, and not really understanding the situation of the game here, I wouldn't have thought. Or is it more? It will be more. It is now. That is a 6-pointer, so it does help, and now they need the Zuper.
Minute to go. Need to be very careful with the footy. Even a Zuper won't get him there, but they need it next. Oh, Burton had a good piece of that. Not paid. Taken to ground when he didn't have it potentially. Bugs pushed out of it. Now they get the chance through Warple. Off a step, misses left.
That was the Zuper opportunity right there. 30 seconds left in this one here. You'd think they are home now, Melbourne. Set himself for this and done a great job. What a good mark that was. Gee, O'Brien.
Great aerialist.
He is. He and Sicily. Both talent to burn and kick from a long way. It also misses. And Melbourne are going to go on and win the AFLX Grand Final night 2.
10 seconds to go. Neil Bullen to bring it in. Long ball forward. Push in the back. Not going to matter. Siren sounds. Melbourne have won AFLX 2. Jake Melksham back at the screen there. What a tournament he had. Some premiership success for the Melbourne Footy Club. Well done to them, and Hawthorn, a fantastic tournament played as well. Tommy Bugg's a happy man. Let's get out to Campbell Brown.
Angus Brayshaw just won the AFLX Grand Final, but for a game that was sold as being bruise-free and open, you boys had a red-hot crack in that last half.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk a lot about the Melbourne person and what that looks like, and it's every day, no matter what it is. It's been been super competitive and whatever it is, it could be, Geno said it could be backgammon, it could be whatever. We come out, we compete, and it's obviously we like to see this transfer through the real season, but it's a good start, and the boys got a good blowout, it's all good.
The club copped a little bit of criticism throughout the pre-season about the camp and about a few things that didn't occur. Pretty good answer tonight for the fans.
Well, I mean, whatever was said, but we're pretty confident about what we're doing inside the club, and if we keep performing, I mean, it's obviously AFLX, but tough, competitive, hard, contested style of footy, then the rest will take care of itself. We'll write our own headlines by the way we play, so it's going to be good.
And on a personal note, yourself, you've had plenty of concussions and head knocks over the last couple of years. You're looking fit. You're out there tonight. How's everything going physically?
Yeah, great. I mean, I still wear this because Mum would have a heart attack if I didn't, but I feel great, and I had a full pre-season. I've not missed a session, so I'm feeling really good, and we keep playing like this, and I can't wait to be involved in it. It's going to be a great season, I think, for us.
Congrats.
Yeah, cheers, Manny.
Congratulations to Melbourne. They win AFLX Night 2 by 10 points, and this will be their first piece of silverware since the 1989 pre-season comp route.
Why are you laughing, John?
That's a long time.
Why are you laughing,
I'm not too sure. It'll probably take pride of place in their trophy cabinet, you think?
Well, I just think it's a sign of things to come for the D's this year. We know they've had a bit of a tumultuous pre-season. We talk about their pre-season camp, and this just shows that they're on the right track, the D's. We know they've recruited really strongly over a period where they've been down towards the bottom of the ladder, and you just feel like now they're starting to climb their way up and expecting big things from them for the rest of the year.
I think they play a really strong brand of football. They're really competitive and tough around the ball, and they're now starting to get some good outside run and release.
Yeah, they do. They've got a lot of class in their side, which has been the thing that's been lacking the past few years. But when you're able to draft players like Petrarca and Brayshaw and bring a Jake Lever into your team, that speaks to the volume of class that they've got in their list.
Yeah, there were some big highlights to come out of this grand final as well. Hawthorn were able to fight their way back into the contest. They had a couple of opportunities late to take the win. Melbourne did get away early though, but as we've seen in the AFLX competition, some goals over the back and some big super goals. They've been the highlights.
Yeah, it has, and it's sort of like when you watch the NBA, there's 2 minutes to go. It might be 10 points of difference. Anything can happen. This is really similar. The super goal adds a whole different element to the game. You look up and it's 12 points of odds, it's a couple kicks, but it can change just like that, which I think keeps the fans really engaged, and they were certainly in it right up until that last play at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was a big tackle there from Angus Brayshaw, and we saw a bit of a scuffle going on between Neville Jetta and Blake Hardwick as well, which the crowd really loved.
The crowd enjoyed the scuffle. I'm not sure the boys come Tuesday when the MRP fines them for wrestling, whether they'll be all that too happy with getting a fine in the AFLX, Jono.
No, I think Michael Christian will certainly look after them when
he's got to take it into consideration, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, here we go. The presentation's underway here, and Neville Jetta, as the captain of Melbourne for tonight's grand final, he goes and accepts the trophy for Melbourne. The big X goes into their trophy cabinet.
It's better than nothing, absolutely. You come here tonight and you're not too sure what to expect, but to walk away having 1 or 3 of your games, Melbourne will be really happy.
Yeah, they will. I think all sides will be very happy with the way they've performed tonight. Even for Hawthorn, some of their younger players, I think, stood up. Even to see James Warple get out there today, and he took a couple of good marks, had a couple of nice shots at goal as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen 4 top 10 draft picks blooded tonight. We've seen a lot of young players get opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't get, which I think speaks volumes about the concept. It's a concept that I think will last the journey, given that the players have embraced it.
Yeah, that's right. And look, when you look about throughout the results tonight, Essendon I thought were quite good. There's a fair bit going on with them. What about your boys, the Saints? How'd they go?
Yeah, I thought they performed really strongly. Definitely a shift in the way that they were playing, with the way they defended. Real strong one-on-one performance, and their ball movement looked good. So they fielded a pretty strong team, and about half of those guys you'd expect to play regular senior footy.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we're just going to wait for Jake Melsham, who's making his way over, and look forward to having a chat to him very shortly. Here's what we're talking about. The big stink. There it is, the big wrestle between the two boys.
Well, the crowd got up. We could see near us. They were all standing up trying to get a better view, but I'm not sure. I reckon this is borderline. Borderline. The players, we know there's no prize money. We know the players didn't get necessarily paid for AFLX, but hopefully they don't land a fine. We've got who we consider the player of the night, Jake Melsham, with us. Jake, what a great performance. 4 super goals. I think your first 3 kicks in the concept were all super goals, so you've got to be happy with your performance tonight.
Yeah, it was good fun out there. I think the aim of the game is to kick those 10-pointers. It's only, I reckon, 35. They say it's 40, but I reckon it's 35. So, yeah, we had good fun.
What do you take away from tonight then in terms of your preparations leading into the season?
I think it was just good to get that blowout. When you play that first game, as you know, the first 10 minutes you're absolutely cooked. So I think we got that tonight, and then going into Hobart next week against North, we'll feel much better in that first quarter.
And what about the actual concept? Were boys putting their hands up to play, or was it a matter of who's done the most work in the pre-season?
I think it was just let all the A-graders sit at home and rest up for the good stuff, and we'll fill in the void. No, it was suited more to the guys that we think could play the game well, and also to blood some young blokes.
And what about the blokes that didn't play tonight? What will they be doing this weekend?
They've got a big day tomorrow.
So probably not a bad one to...
Great decision to put your hand up and play, and it was great to see Christian Petrarca. Obviously, looks like he's going to take his game to another level, and Angus Brayshaw, we spoke about him a fair bit, but getting back out looks like he's right to go as well.
Yeah, both those guys have had really good summers, particularly Gussie. It's good to get him out on the park and play with some confidence, because that'll be getting him ready for round 1 and for the rest of the year.
Disappointing end to last year. We know that. We know how close you were to actually playing finals. Has that been spoken about as a group in the lead up to this year?
We spoke about it day 1 with Goody. He brought it up, and then we knocked it on the head there, and we just looked forward to what was to come this year, and we didn't speak about it again. So it hurt for 2 or 3 months there, and it still hurts now, but we've moved on and ready to go.
How has Jake Lever settled into the Melbourne life?
Yeah, he loves it. He's a very, very mature young man, Jake. You'd think he's about 30 years old, the way he is around the club and the way he plays the game, and he's been really beneficial to our backline so far this summer, just with training, professionalism, and doing everything he needs to do.
And what about your own game, mate? Where do you see yourself fitting in this year? You've been a bit of a Mr. Fix-It, be able to play all over the ground. What's your pre-season role been?
It's been through the forward line the whole time. That's where I played the last 10 games last year, and I've played there tonight and had a few pings at goals, and I think that's where it comes naturally to me, play in front of goals, and the attacking side of the game is always fun, so I think I'll be there most of the year.
Well, Jake, we appreciate your time post-game. Congratulations on the win tonight, but more importantly, good luck for the season ahead.
Thanks, fellas. Cheers.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, I think Melbourne are in for a very big year. Don't worry about that. It was a great night here, night 2. We now turn our attention to tomorrow night. We head to Allianz Stadium in Sydney, and there's the lineup there. You've got GWS taking on the Tigers, Sydney and the Western Bulldogs. Tigers go again against the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah. What I'm most looking forward to, Jono, is seeing the way the Tigers come out. We see they're going to, they're going to have a lot of pressure on them pushing up into the start of the season to really repeat last year's performance. But it'll be interesting to see how they go about it tomorrow night. 2 out of 2. No injuries, Jono. So praying for 3 out of 3. Nothing supports a new concept like the players getting through unscathed. So let's hope we can tick it off again tomorrow night.
Night 1 was uncontested. Night 2 was a little bit more contested, a bit more football-like. It was an absolute pleasure to watch. So we wait for night 3 to see how that unfolds with 6 more teams to go. But it was a fantastic night here at Etihad Stadium. The kids loved it. The setup was fantastic, and all the players and teams acquitted themselves extremely well. They'll walk away knowing that their preparations are on track for season 2018. Good night, everyone.